Hello everyone, welcome back to the CodeIsha Training Center. So today we will discuss about the HTML tables basics as per day 8. Okay, so in 30 days HTML series. So let's see. So coming to the today, our agenda is going to the introduction to the HTML tables and why tables are used and HTML structure in table structure in HTML and understand the table tag and table rows using the tr tag and table cells like using the td tags and table headers using the th tags, and also we can create the one simple table also. Okay, and for that we need to add, and for that we will add the adding the borders and the stylings also. Okay, and final you will get the assignments based on your today's topic. Okay, so by end this video, you will understand the purpose of HTML tables, and you can create the rows and the columns in the tables and use the table headings properly. And you can also get build the simple data tables, and you will get and also you will try to do the apply basic table stylings also. Okay, and final one you will create the structured table or content. Okay, so once you are done the session you will get these are all. Okay, so let's see, coming to the first one, what is a table? So an HTML table is used to display data in rows and the columns. Okay, and tables helps the organize information clearly. So for example, we need students marks on the web page. So that time how you can do, you need to do add the table tag, and inside that we need to add the table rows, and inside that we will add the data shell. Okay, nothing but table data shell, nothing but values. Okay, so and employee records and the price, product price lists, and also we can add the timetables also. Okay, using the table tag on the web page. Okay, and here's the basic structure of the table. So we have the main tags here for the table. Okay, so one is the table tag, so it creates the table, and when we need the rows and we use the tr tag. Okay, and when we need the headers for that table we need to use the th tags. Okay, and after that once we are all done this, so the and we need to give the values and we need to give the data in that shells, we need to use the td tags. Okay, so here's a simple structure flow. First we need to create the table, and then we need to create the rows, and then we need to insert the data values with help of the td td cells. Okay, so up to everything okay, right? And here's a simple picture about that. Okay, so what here's the these outline is the table. Okay, so red color indicates the table headers. Okay, and here's a yellow color indicates the one row. Okay, and here's the orange color indicates the one column. So entire in the table it is the one column. Okay, and this is the one row. Okay, and this is a simple data cell. So in the data cell we'll give the values. Okay, whatever we need given the headers, based on headers we will give the values. Okay, so up to everything okay, right? And coming to the next, table tag. Okay, so the table tag is the main container for the table content. Okay, and table and coming to the here's the syntax for that. Okay, and table also. So here's a table tag, opening tag and the closing tag. Okay, so everything inside the table must be placed within the rows and the columns. Okay, so whatever our requirements, like whether it is headers, whether it is rows, whether it is columns, we need to inside the table. Okay, so for that we need to first we need to define the table tag. Okay, and here's the table rows and the table cell. Okay, so coming to the table row, the tier tags defines the row in the table. Okay, so for that we need to use the tr tag. Okay, so a table can contain the multiple rows. Okay, and coming to the table data shell, so the td tag is used to the add normal data inside the table. Which tag we need to use? Td tag. Okay, so td tag means insert the values, so adding the values. Okay, so for that we need to use the td tag. So inside that td tags, we need to add the values, whatever we are given the headers. Based on that we need to give the values. Okay, and each td represents the one cell. Okay, so up to everything okay, right? And here's the table headers using the th tags. Okay, so the th tag is used for the table headings. Okay, so here's the future once we use that th tags on the table. Okay, so by default we get the that text is bold. Okay, and also that text will be aligned center in by default. Okay, and it helps the identify the columns names. Okay, so whatever the given the header tag, so we can easily identify that those names are the table headers. Okay, so see here the table tag sorry tags. Inside that we need to give the table headers names, so whether it is name, whether it is marks, whether it is student id, whether it is gender, whether it is contact number, whether it is email address, whether it is location, and whether it is city name, and whether it is like any fax number. Okay, those are all will give the with the help of the th tag, nothing but headers. Okay, and let's see try to write the piece of code for this. Okay, so let's back into the code editor, coming to the tl, and here we have the table already done. So let's open the notepad. Okay, let's remove all of this. Okay, so let's save it and open that web page on the web browser. Okay, see here we don't have any values, right? So let's close it and let's open the code editor. So see here I'm giving the inside the body. So when we need the display the content, where we can give the values or adding the text inside the body tag, right? So for that, first of all I'm giving the table. Okay, first of all I'm giving the table tag. Okay, so for the table tag I'm giving the product details. Okay, product data. Okay, so let's save it and refresh it. See here's the products data, this is the header. So inside that I'm giving the first one. What we need to do first, we need to do add the tr nothing but table row, right? So table row, inside that I'm giving the th. Okay, th, and here the th. Okay, so here I'm giving the product id. Okay, so I'm giving the product id. Okay, so and also I'm taking the two more headers. Okay, so here's the product name, I'm giving the item name. Okay, and here I'm giving the price, I'm giving the price. Okay, so let's save it and let's refresh it whether it is comes or not. Those default headers like bold and center. Okay, so let's refresh it. See, so those texts are bold, right, comparing to the others data. Okay, so and one more thing, let's add the data for these headers. Okay, so once we are added done, right? So next what we need to do, when we need the give the adding the values or insert the values, what we need to do, td tag. Okay, so once before going that td tag, what we need to do, first we need to declare the tr nothing but the row, right? So entire row. So here once come the entire row, right? So for that we need to give the first tr, just to give the tr. Okay, so inside that we are adding the td for the adding the data values. Okay, so I'm going with the 3 because we have the three headers, right? So for that I'm going to the 3 data shells. Okay, So first I'm going to the 001, that is a product ID, and here I'm giving the iPhone, okay, product iPhone 16, okay, and here I'm giving to the like 100 rupees, okay. So just I'm going to the 100 rupees. So I'm going to the 100 rupees. So let's remove those other things, just keep it like this. So let's refresh it. See, here's the product ID and here's the product name, nothing but item name, okay, and here's the price, okay. So that is the 100 rupees we are given. So let's take and see here we have the, we are inside the three data shells, right? For that we are seeing the three values. So let's see, I'm removing the only, I'll give the two values only. So it will automatically gets you only product name, product ID and the item name only, okay. So it won't get the third value, okay. So and let's see, I'm adding here TD, okay. So here, so whether it is let's check whether it is comes the none values or anything at this second headers, okay. So let's see, I'll refresh it. See, so it whatever we are given the series third line, it will go into the price. So in the second we don't have the any values, for that it skip that their data shell values, and we are given the value 1, so it will get the 1, right? So this is a simple and it follows the series wise, okay. So up to here, okay. So I'm adding the three more rows, okay. And so here I'm going with the second, I'm going with the already 2, okay. And here I'm giving the Nokia, okay. And here I'm giving the 10 rupees, okay. And here I'll change the ID 3 item name, okay. And here I'm going with the Redmi, okay. And here I'm giving the 50 rupees, okay. And here I'm going with the ID number 4, and here I'm giving with the number is value is Moto, okay. And this cost is 30 rupees. Let's save it. So let's save it and let's back into the web page. Let's refresh it. See, so first line is the header, okay, and here's the values is there. So these are all one row and these are all one column, right? These are all one column, okay. So up to everything okay, right? And now what we need to do, we need borders, right, styling purpose. So let's get into the slides. So here's a simple example for that, taking the students name and the marks, okay. But we are tries the product data, right, in real time projects, okay. And here's the adding the borders, okay. So adding the borders to make the table lines visible, okay. So see here, we don't have on the web page, on the web page we don't have any tables right here, table columns and the table row identify the easily, okay. So we don't have any line right here. So let's see, further we need to add the lines borders, okay. So what is the borders, when we need the borders, what we need to use the border attribute is a symbol for beginners, okay. And later we use the css for better stylings, okay. So as of now just take the border attribute simple beginners for beginners, okay. So once you are complete everything here is a pro, then you need to shift the css. You can add the in that like border and the border stylings, okay, like dotted or underlines or solid, okay. You wish you can add the stylings whatever we have the giving the css, okay. And here's a basic table styling, okay. Like here's a common attributes like border and cell padding and cell spacing, okay. And here's a width, okay. So let's take one border. So let's back into our core editor where we need to give the, we need to give the table, right, because of we are need the table borders, okay. So I'm giving the border attribute, I'm giving a value 1. So let's check when we give the border line the size is 1. So let's see how it is looks. Let's refresh it. See, so when we give the border value is 1, okay, size, so it will looks like this. Okay, so let's, I'm changing the from 1 to 10. Okay, so let's save it and let's refresh it. See, so when I'm adding the bordered size value 10, so it looks like this. Okay, so up to everything okay, right? Until here. Okay, so like how to create the table, and how we can create the row, and how we can add the headers, and how we can give the values with the help of the td tags, and adding the borders for the table, right? So everything okay, right, up to here. So let's back into the slides. So here's the best practice for using the tables. Okay, use tables only for tablets data. Okay, and keep headings are clear, and maintain proper alignments. Okay, and avoid unnecessary nested tables, and use the css for advanced styling. Okay, so don't go with the directly css. Okay, so just try to as a beginner, just you need to try in the html only, giving like borders or cell padding or cell spacing. Okay, so then once you are pro in this, then you need to shift into the css. Okay, and coming to the common mistakes, so when you are going to the with the tables, so mainly doing these common mistakes. Okay, so like forgetting the closing stacks and unequal number of cells in the rows. Okay, so just now I'm said right, so I'm giving the one value, and second one I'm giving the null, and third one I'm giving the value, that is the item name. So it shifted into the item name into the price, right? So that time you need to check whether it is right or not in the rows. Okay, and using the td instead of th for headings. Okay, and td nothing but only data shells, right? So data shells means it will change the value, but once into the headers we added, it won't change because of it is the table names, right? Like header values. Okay, and placing the content outside the tr tags. So once you are not add the tr tag, it won't see the values on the web page. Okay, because you are not declared the row, right? So we have in the tables, we have the rows and the columns, right? So for that we need to use the, first we have to add the data, we need to add the tr nothing but table row. Okay, and here's the assignment based on today's topics. So let's try to create one table, whether it is employee table, product price, or college table. Okay, so see here, product price table already I'm done. So let's try to create the student records data. Okay, so and then each data table try to add the 3 or 5 rows. Okay, and proper headings. Okay, so up to everything okay, right? And coming to the final one, thank you for watching this video. So I hope this video is everyone findful and find helpful, sorry, find helpful, and don't forget to the subscribe and share it with your friends, whoever the enthusiastic to learn the software technologies. Okay, so if you have any inquiries, software courses, so let's contact us. Okay, we'll feel free to explain everything regarding your queries. Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you.